Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Microbiotics BioTalk. How have you been? Hope you're fine. I've missed you, and I hope you've missed me too. It's good to be back on BioTalk. This is actually my first BioTalk since January. I've been completely out of studio throughout the month of February, and I'm sorry about that. I tender my unreserved apologies, but it's actually also for the best. During my absence, I'm involved in a project for epidemic preparedness and response across the country, and of course, it's been an eye-opening exercise for me, and I'm still very much more involved. But definitely, I will be here to share the knowledge gained so that the public will be aware of what emergency or epidemic response and the preparedness is all about. Many times during BioTalk, we've spoken several times about infectious diseases, especially the priority ones, the ones that are prevalent in the country, the one that we are on the lookout for every time. And of course, the last epidemic that we had was a worldwide one. I think that's for COVID-19. And even though the emergency, the epidemic preparedness and the response project that I'm involved with presently is on COVID. Its activity has been expanded to cover other infectious diseases as well and other public health emergencies. So, all the knowledge, all the technological know-how, every insight that is gained or that are gained for COVID epidemic, we will and can also be applied to every other infectious disease that's available out there. So we'll just be sharing some insights so that I think everybody can also partake. Or you people who know what to expect, and of course the part that you have to play. Okay, so under every emergency preparedness and response, which we refer to as EPR, under every EPR project or plan, we always have different pillars of activities. These different pillars of activities are what come together to that we make the plans that are being put together for EPR to actually work. Without some of these activities, without some of these pillars of activities, we realize that we won't be able to have a good emergency preparedness and response plan or project. So let's take a brief look through these activities. Let's know what they are. So maybe in the future we'll be expanding on each one of them very, very much. But for now, we just take a cursory look at some of these pillars of response so that we'll be able to know what and what to expect. So the first one I'll be talking about is coordination. Of course, coordination is needed. All the activities under any EPR plan or project needs coordination, which is usually being carried out by the topmost person in public health, either the director of public health in that state or in that community, or the state epidemiologist in conjunction with every other topmost official, including the commissioner and even the governor of the state. So coordination is actually very, very important. All the activities need to be coordinated very well so that the adequate plans and will be made and the project will be a successful one. The other one is surveillance. Of course, we've mentioned surveillance. This particular pillar is very, very important. We've mentioned the surveillance so many times. in this studio, and we know that the importance majorly lies in actually looking out for trends, looking out for using data to actually source for information about infectious diseases, its transmission, those who are affected, the time, the place, and the persons. So surveillance is very, very important, and the major activity being carried out under surveillance is usually active case find. We need to start looking for all the cases of that particular disease, so that we'll be able to prepare and respond against it before it becomes a big outbreak. So and also we have what we refer to as contact tracing. Contact tracing. We know that once somebody is infected with a particular disease, it's good to actually check on those who are closest to him, those who he or she has interacted with, so that we'll be able to arrest the situation before it becomes a bigger case of outbreak for us. So another pillar that we look at is the laboratory. Of course, the laboratory is very, very important in confirming cases of suspected outbreaks. When you get a particular person showing the symptoms of a particular priority disease, is very, very important for us to confirm the case so that we can move into action. Every case is suspected until laboratory confirmed. That is the rule. Even if the person is displaying all the appropriate symptoms for that disease, it's still very, 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 very important for us to have a laboratory confirmation of that particular infectious agent before proceeding. So that is for laboratory pillar. And after laboratory pillar, we move to case management pillar. Of course, every confirmed cases, every confirmed person who has a particular disease that has been already laboratory confirmed or epidemiologically linked to that particular infectious agent, that particular priority disease must be managed, must be given the appropriate treatment, must be isolated, treated, and given the right management so that he or she can easily be cured and not spread it to the next person. So that's for case management. And of course, another pillar that all of us are familiar with is the infection prevention and control. Infection prevention and control. We've discussed infection prevention and control several times on this BioTalk, and we know what infection prevention and control is. One of the best way to prevent transmission of, to prevent outbreak becoming bigger is to prevent the transmission. And one of the places we carried out these IPC practices is usually at the health facilities, where most times the patient meets with the health workers, and there are possibilities of transmission. So within the healthcare facility, there's usually what we refer to as HAI, hospital-acquired infections, which can move from patient to patient, or patient to health workers, or from health workers to patients, or from health workers to health workers. So infection prevention and control, IPC, is actually very important. It's an important arm of emergency preparedness and response, because if an outbreak is likely going to start, one of the most likeliest places that it can start, it's at the health facility. So the next pillar is risk communication, and social mobilization. Risk communication, that is what we are doing now. I've been a risk expert for a long time, and that is actually what I'm doing now to keep you abreast of issues. And risk has to do with quickly getting information across to people, to the public, about how to prevent infections, how to prevent getting infected, to prevent transmission, how to quickly link the public with case management, how to give information, how to engage the community so that they will be able to respond appropriately. RISCOM is very, 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 very important. Recently, we are having cases of diphtheria in the southwestern part of the country. We are having cases of meningitis in the northern part of the country. So most people would not have known about it if RISCOM isn't carried out. So we need to carry out risk communication and social mobilization so that people will be adequately prepared. They won't get caught off guard. So risk social mobilization is an important pillar of EPR. And the last one, at least for now, is logistic. Logistic is actually very important. How do we transport patients? How do we transport drugs? How do we transport usables from one location to the other? That's where logistics comes to place. How do we transport personnel? How do we carry all these things all around so that we'll be able to achieve what we want to achieve? We want to be able to prepare adequately and respond adequately. So logistics is very, very, very important. Very, very important. And an important aspect that is not actually with me here that I just remember now is research. Research has been a very, very good pillar for emergency preparedness and response. Let's say, for example, based on our experience during COVID outbreak, of course, we can take cues from what happened during COVID-19 epidemic and pandemic, and then we carry out research. A lot of research has been going on COVID-19 since its outbreak, and we can use this information, the research that we carried out, we can use them to actually prepare for the next pandemic. We can definitely research into the transmission cycle, the disease pattern. We can look into the epidemiology of that particular disease. We can look into the treatment. We can look into the prevention techniques, how to make vaccines, how to how to make the drugs that we're going to use, and the likes. So research is an very, very, very is a very, very important part of these particular pillars for emergency preparedness and response. So those are the summary of the pillars, and over the incoming weeks, hopefully, if I don't get too busy again, we'll be coming up with write-ups, we'll be coming up with mobile talks to expand on all these things that we've talked about, and I hope you pardon me for not always being present, but I promise I have to be present. I've actually missed doing this. It's part of my job. So, and I promise that I will be very, very much available, very, very, very much in the nearest future. But until we meet again, don't forget what I just mentioned about outbreak of diseases. Please, it's very important. We've had diphtheria cases across the southwest, in Ekiti, in Osun, and other states. We've had meningitis, spinal meningitis in some states in the north, and everybody's advised to be very careful. And of course, make sure that your children and those around you help us tell them to get vaccinated. Some of these diseases are actually vaccine preventable diseases, so don't get caught off guard. Just make sure that you get vaccinated and your children get vaccinated. And above all, my final advice: always stay safe, and don't engage in unhealthy behavior. So till next time we're going to meet, make sure that you stay safe and be good. Bye.
Pull up straight to your spot. I know life is a maze till I find my way to your heart. Even if never strikes, I'll navigate in the dark. You always beat me to the finish when I give you head starts. See, you're like the most beautiful jewel in any treasury. The way you can light up the room with the coolest energy. Black queen pheromones are heavily